up, guys? Just wanted to get a little daily vibe tarot thing going on. This isolation energy is no joke. Regardless of what you believe and what your stance is, the energies never lie. That's like the real talk. So, I was thinking about yesterday a lot about like what's sustainable. Lifestyle wise and in life. And definitely it goes without saying that this quarantine stuff is not sustainable. It's not constructive. It doesn't help to the overall goal of what it is that we're trying to do as people, as a country. Which I think at the end of the day is to try to progress and develop and expand and evolve and grow towards something better. Isn't that what this is all about? This thing called life. And that's reflected in the country throughout, socially, economically, hopefully. Some think that, this social media era and generation that we live in is kind of depraved. But, at the end of the day, and I think in the heart of the matter, when people get together, we're genuinely, trying to uphold some sort of equilibrium and harmony. I know that there are a lot of, differences in how we look and in how we look at things and how we understand things as far as reality is concerned. But the reason that there's possible friction and tension is because we're trying to, hopefully come to an understanding of what's really going on. And the reason we're trying to do that is because we're trying to, essentially do good and do better. That's the whole point of, I think, human existence and evolution and all that stuff. Like it's encoded in our being, to kind of keep on pushing and expanding and progressing in whatever way. Again, hopefully a good way. So I think a lot of life right now is trying to figure out like what the fuck is really going on. I'm kind of getting that quiet, dark, empty energy feeling. I don't know what that is. I do think it is kind of a quarantine. People are like putzing around. They're not really knowing what direction to go in. So at the end of the day, whether it's, conspiracy, whether it's done for this reason or that reason, you're left with the reality, the reality of, loved ones passing on or whatever. At the end of the day, you have to somehow try to figure out how to either incorporate, combat, adapt, or, build upon that energy, your response to it. So, and usually in times of crises, you kind of reveal the character and the depth and what people are really about. So, keep that in mind. I think it plays a significant role in, when we come out of this quarantine time period. We're all, creators and masters of our reality as far as we create reality. That's why perception is so powerful. That's why I rant and rave against, watching the nightly news or the daily news, because, if you're being signaled to be afraid, then that inhibits growth and expansion, and that kills a part of you. And this is proven scientifically. Again, this is kind of where spirituality and science meets the road. Together, as far as like telomeres, for example. When you meditate, telomeres are fringes on the ends of your nerve cells that are proven to expand, and they have to do, actually, I think nerve cells, I think they're at the edge of your chromosomes. It's deeper than nerves. I think whoever's out there, whoever knows better, look it up. But anyways, so that's why, they say scientifically anyways, when you meditate, you lengthen your telomeres, and that's literally lengthening your lifespan. So, but that can only occur that can only occur if you're in a state of growth and health and prosperity. And nowadays we have that, except we have that in the physical, realm around us in the United States for the most part. A lot of people don't. I'm not taking that for granted. A lot of people in the world don't either. But in the modern developed world, there are a lot of people that have access to being able to, Maslow's hierarchy, provide the basic, levels of this structure. However, when your mind is probably being signaled or infiltrated and being suppressed to be able to do what humans naturally do, which is to help others, then you don't grow as a person. You don't see when the wool is being pulled over your eyes because you're in a constant state of fear. So all of this stuff is connected. I think this is where conspiracy theories have it to where, the government doesn't care about homeless people, and, just weird, strange oddities where, we see that people's basic rights and necessities throughout the world aren't being provided for whatever political or religious reasons. So there's no denying that, or else there wouldn't be any poverty, or else the human mammalian brain would kick in and we would want to help each other. But we don't, and it's kind of like a learned result of society. Anyways, I'm going on this huge tangent. Let's split some fucking cards. Let's see what the vibe is. That's my daily vibe, is like just deep thoughts. Let's see if the cards kind of reflect that. Let's see what's going on, because I do think that there's a lot going on, other than just not being able to go to the gym, or not being able to go out to a restaurant for drinks, or whatever, in a meal, things like that. So yeah, you just masses of people, large swaths of people, and how they're inculcated have a lot to do with the world that we create and live in and tolerate. So it's worth speaking about. And being honest about the genuine nature of humanity, I think. Maybe we're just no good. So let's see. I guess the Queen of Wands jumps out immediately. Queen of Wands is Pisces, Aries energy. She rules her suit. The queens aren't as cutthroat as the kings. They're not as logical. She's passionate. Again, she rules the element of fire. She's able to encourage and influence movement. Of large groups of people. She's the queen. And she's a force to be reckoned with. She's looking at the Two of Clubs, which signals planning. We're in the planning stages. And we're planning something about our spiritual work. 8 of Coins, similar, not dissimilar to the message from yesterday. Because the 8 is about new beginnings, and when it comes out as the 8 of Coins, it's in finances, or what you do for financial income. Some would say work, but I like to say spiritual work, because just regular plain day-to-day work is boring. I like to tie, similar to the message yesterday, tying in your spirituality with the work that you do. You got the 6 of Hearts, which is nostalgia, going back, I think, again to a previous time of innocence almost, or what you were doing before everybody else got in your way, so to speak. You know, who you were. And I think a lot of that has to do with how we resonate. When you're a child, when you're young, you're kind of carefree, and you don't get bogged down by bullshit. And I think that's what we're kind of being encouraged to do, is to keep our vibrations open, high, playful, innocent, and not get bogged down. Because if you're battling energies, and this whole COVID scare is like bumming you out, then you really gotta take a refresher course in how to be a fucking kid again, in a lot of regards. Because if we're creating our world, you want to create a open, fun, playful, safe, happy, healthy reality. And that's how you win at the end of the day, is you be happy, whole, and complete, you know, and you don't be oppressed. And I see that, again, the 6 of Wands pops out. So we're gonna be victorious in this. We're gonna get through that. You know, those good energies will prevail. Rising, you can't keep it down. And 4 of Wands is a public celebration. So there's gonna be public victory. It could be on the personal front, or it could just be us all together as a people. Okay, there's going to be public celebration once we get out of this. And then you have the 7 of Coins, which is bearing the fruits of what you've sowed. So if you're sowing good energy, then you're going to see that bloom and blossom. If you're bogged down by fear, then you're not going to see good things blossom. So my trick is always to combat fear with love. Even if it's just a mantra, to repeat the word in your mind, love, 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 if you're in a state of fear. Or grounding, you know, if you play around with energies in your body, imagine that you feel that energies are moving downwards and you're being anchored, you're being pulled down by the center of the earth, and your energies are literally grounded. If you're feeling a little uneven or insecure, or like you're gonna like float away because of anxiety, or just feeling you know, untethered, if you need to settle down and calm your energies, grounding is a good way to do that. If you want to combat you know, anxiety, you could, you know, maybe repeat the word calm to yourself, again, like working with mantras and things like that, settling down your thoughts, getting lost in activities, playful activities, or maybe work that you actually enjoy doing. There's a lot of ways to combat these low vibrations. For me, doing a video is a good way to kind of get a pulse and understanding of, you know, because all of this stuff is in the environment around us, and we're unconsciously picking up on others' vibes and the vibe of the people. That's just how we're created. So if you could point it out and call it out on some like Care Bear stare shit, then you could identify it. And then once you identify it, then you're like, oh, it's just this. People are tripping. So maybe I'm picking up on that vibe, you know? And yeah. And you know, beyond the reality of, you know, maybe you are quarantined, isolated, you know, like I am. But again, if you could call it out and speak truth to power, then, you know, whatever. It is what it is. It's just another thing that we're going to get through with flying colors. So that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting. Planning stages. refocusing your energy into some sort of like lightheartedness and being victorious, having planted these energies. So you want to make sure to plant these energies, these good, lighthearted, positive energies in everything that you do. Okay, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Okay, and you start with checking in on your own vibe and seeing where you're at, checking in with self. You know, that's basic psychological practices, psychiatric practices. So yeah, I wish you guys well, and holler at your boy. Peace.